I'm a friend. I got one simple question for you today. What's happiness for you? What's happiness? You can pause the video, take a little time, think about it. When you did that, in order to explain what happiness is, I want to take you back in time. Or you can take yourself back in time. That's better way to say it. Um, and think about, or actually also feel, try to bring up the memory when you last felt happy, really, really happy. That can be anything. It can be you with your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your friends on a cliff at the sea or whatever. Think about it. Just try to bring up the memory. How did it look like? How warm was it? Was it windy? Was it snowing? Was it raining? Was it warm? Was it cold? How did you feel? What was the smell of your surroundings? And yeah, you will figure it out on your own, I bet. But I would say that everybody that just did this would come to the conclusion that they were actually in the present moment. They were thankful being alive. They were thankful being able to experience it because that's what happiness is. That's what happiness is. Happiness is nothing more than being thankful for the present moment, for the experience, you know? And the problem that we have in our society, the problem that we have in general with happiness is that we are being distracted. Like most of the time throughout our day, we're being distracted by this one. We are being distracted by reels, by shorts, YouTube videos. We are being distracted by the media. We are being distracted by ads all around the place. We are being distracted by, I don't know, there's so many things, by porn, for example. That's actually the worst distraction that you can being distracted by. It's the worst thing somebody can do with his life, watching porn. It's I used to do that and I don't know, it's the worst thing that somebody can do. It just gives you absolutely nothing. It fucks up your self-esteem. It takes away the moment. It takes away your skill to talk to girls. It's just absolutely crazy. I don't know. I cannot explain it, but so many young men still do it, and I don't understand why. It's like it's like an addiction, you know. But I cannot understand how you can do something that brings you nothing. Like, I don't know. Anyways, so distraction was the word. Um, and if we are being distracted from being in the present moment, we are not able to be happy, even though if we watch reels, we feel alright, you know. Our dopamine level spikes up every time we swipe. Um, but at the same time, it fucks our dopamine level, like in general. So we feel very, I don't know, very tired at most of the time. We are not being productive. We just sit here, watch reels. We just sit here, watch TV. We're not being in the present moment. And if we are doing something, most of the time we run from one destination to another without any, I don't know, without any sense and without any feeling for the present moment. We don't think about that we are alive, that we are breathing, that we can be thankful for things if we just run around the whole day, if we are being distracted most of the time. So there's a simple technique that can actually switch everything around, and it's called the 369 method. 369s are um, magical numbers of the universe. I can make a video about that if you want to. Well, if I want to. So what you want to do is first thing when you wake up in the morning is to write down 3 things that you are thankful for. Not going on the phone, that's the worst thing you can do. Not checking your messages. Did anybody care about me while I was asleep? Don't do that. There's no point of doing that, right? You gotta be productive when you wake up, because that's where you get your energy for the whole day. Is what you do depends on what you do when you first wake up. So you're still a little bit in your subconscious mind. You just woke up from a dream. Um, Alarm is ringing. You're still tired, but first thing you do is you sit down with your book and your pen, and you write down 3 things that you are thankful for. You take yourself out of this whole distractive world. You sit down with yourself, and the moment, the present moment, that's the only thing that matters in this moment. You, your book, and the pen, and the things that you are thankful for. You write down 3 things. That can be very simple. It can be so simple. I mean, you can be thankful for just waking up. There's so many people that fall asleep, never wake up again. There's so many people that are being murdered brutally. There's so many people that are at war since they were born. They don't know anything else but violence. There's so many things we can be thankful for. I mean, if we are not in survival mode, and we are not in survival mode anymore, we get the power to decide what to do next. That's one more thing to be thankful for. We got the power to be, and we get the privilege to enjoy the moment. We don't always got to think about what do I have to do to survive. We got the power to be, and that's one more thing you can write down every single day. And I know we're not like perfect, so we write down those 3 things, and once again we're being distracted by something throughout the day. So what you want to do is write down 6 things that you're thankful for around in the middle of the day, like before eating lunch, while eating lunch. No, I would actually enjoy the lunch. Be with yourself and the lunch, enjoy the lunch. Don't do something besides eating. That's not good for you. Maybe after lunch, you can just write down 6 things that you're thankful for. Like, for example, if in the morning the sun was shining, giving you a good mood, keeping up your mood, warming up your face, putting a smile on your face. And on lunchtime, it's still the same. Sun's still shining, sun's still out, smile still on your face. You can write that one. You can write that down once again. And then in the evening, before you go to bed, and that's very, very important that you do that, write down 9 things that you're being thankful for. And not like after dinner or before dinner, even worse. Just before you go to bed. Like, it's literally the last thing you do before falling asleep. You write down 9 things, and then you go to bed. You don't go on your phone again. You don't do something else. You just write down. It's the last thing you do before you sleep. So, why? Why is that? Also very simple. Our subconscious mind and our mind programs itself, or is processing the stuff throughout the night, what we last thought about before we fell asleep. Once again, our subconscious mind is processing the stuff that we thought about just before falling asleep, simply put. And as we are being distracted most of the times, the only moment that we can actually be or actually process things is the moment before we go to bed. So that's why a big majority of people can't sleep very well or cannot fall asleep very well, because it's the only time in the day they're not being distracted by something, and they are with themselves alone, And then they start to think about stuff. That's why I also journal every single day. Like every single evening before I go to bed, I write down the stuff that I have experienced just to free my mind, you know? And if you just think about all those, like it's the first moment in the day where you are being alone with yourself, and then majority of thoughts, 90% of thoughts are negative. You start to think. You start to think what you did wrong. You start to think about your life, what could be better, what's not good. You start to think in a negative way most of the times. And your subconscious mind is being programmed in a negative way. It's processing all these negative things. And then you start to attract negative things because you attract what you are. And if your subconscious mind and your mind is programmed in a negative way, you are being negative. So yeah, you know what happens. So that's why it's so important to write down those 9 things just before going to bed, or maybe journal also what you have experienced, what you have learned, what you could do better the next day. I don't know. Write down what you think you have to write down, and then write down 9 things you're being thankful for. And then your mind, your subconscious mind, processes those things that you are thankful for. It processes thankfulness. You're reprogramming your mind and your subconscious mind from a negative point of view to a positive point of view. Right? So what happens? Like after 3 to 4 weeks, I would say you start to feel a difference after 2 days. That's what I have experienced. But after 3 to 4 weeks, you really start to feel, you start to know that there's a change happening within yourself, and you start to see in the world around you change as well. You can experience that you got to know new people. You attract new people, you attract other situations, you attract better things for you. And you, most important, you start to be in the moment. You learn how to be in the moment. You learn how to be happy again. You learn how to actually influence your happiness with thankfulness. And that's the whole point of it. And that's how you change your life.